AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
Eyes on the prize, baby. Baba. Prize picks. Run your game.
Baby Bubba.
Karl Anthony Towns with the gun in his holster as he receives priceless wisdom from the legend, Patrick Ewing. Patrick has all kinds of experience, according to Tom Thibodeau. Having played in New York, I think understanding New York. Unfortunately, he didn't win a championship, but he's a championship player. I saw what he did every day to carry a franchise the way he did for 15 years. It says a lot about him.
I think a lot of players need that. Just like, over there with Wimby, he should be talking to guys like David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Just like Cat, you should be talking to a guy like Patrick Ewing. Like, he had the city on his back for how many years? Like, that's missing in the league, man. A lot of guys need to be talking to the OGs, especially the guys that held it down. That picture, and then even tonight with Cat doing a lot of celebrating, a lot of, for me, listen, man, Miami's depleted. They trash, stomp them out, on to the next. Have that energy, like my brothers were saying. You was looking sore. I don't agree, but we ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole again. But like y'all was saying, have that energy against Draymond Green, Golden State, all the big dogs. Because maybe he can understand, what it is to have that certain toughness that Flea y'all talk about, which doesn't mean fighting nobody, but just understanding big moments. You can't give up a layup to Draymond Green. Big moments, you got to be able to contest. And understanding what it means to be a New York Knick, playing that position, the center position, being an all-star, a budding superstar, and understanding, the ins and outs of the organization in the city. Because we will turn on your ass. That is a whole fact. So I think talking to Patrick Ewing is very smart. Cat doesn't seem like a guy that wouldn't want to, accept information. Seems like a cool, good guy. But I just hope he does do that because, he has the opportunity to do something special. If he stays with us for the long haul and wins a championship, something that Patrick Ewing didn't do and couldn't do. So yeah, I think I think all these organizations and players should be doing things like that, especially if you're that top guy. And you had a major guy in that organization play. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I think it's pretty dope. I think it's a long time coming for Patrick Ewing to have a voice in the locker room and in the front office, and just the presence of being around the Knicks now. I think that should have happened a long time ago. For him to be a part of so many different organizations in the NBA and not the Knicks, in my opinion, is disgusting. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm glad that we finally brought him back and he's able to just have an impact on the guys that are around this team, the locker room, right? Last year's team really embodied what the 90s Knicks teams looked like, just how we played, not so much the structure. I'm just talking about how we approached every night. Dogfight, we want to win the fight and we want to win the game, right? Like we were really, really tough last year. And so bringing him back around this time is cool. And maybe he can be a part of, infusing that toughness into this team right now. I know we talk about this team and there's a lot of finesse. There's a lot of guys out here that, you don't normally use the term tough with them. They're not soft. We're not going to say that, but using the term tough with some of our guys that we have right now is not normal. And so Patrick can be a part of that transformation and infusing some of these guys with some toughness and just understanding the moment. Like you said, OJ, we playing in New York City. If you guys don't understand, what that is, let me help you. I was here for 15 years. I didn't get it done, but I was right at the door. I was knocking at the door a few times. Like, this shit is challenging, it's hard, and you got to bring it every single night. And so, a guy like Mikal Bridges, who we've been hard on for sure, him being inconsistent and just showing up every night. Like, I can see that he's starting to turn the corner a little bit. And for him to do that without Brunson on the floor is huge because we need it. And so now, just put that together. Everybody just continue to put together good nights and just continue to understand the moment that we have right in front of us. And we, we could continue to be special if we just continue to play up to our potential. You talked about OG us playing, better against the better teams, and with the exception of maybe Boston and OKC, I thought we've played well. I thought we played well against Golden State the other night. We just didn't finish the game. I thought we played well against the Lakers. We just didn't finish. We was in overtime against them. We play well against some great teams. Just Boston has kicked our ass all season long, and OKC is a tough matchup for us. And those are the two teams right now that's vying for the championship. So if those are the two teams right now that the Knicks struggle with, I think we're in a good spot, and we're striving for some good shit right now.
What was that? What was that shot? Do you take that shot? Do you practice that shot?
Gotta love Patrick, man. That was some funny shit.
I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. I was hard on Giannis and Hakeem. I was proven wrong. Giannis came out, his mid-range game is better than ever. I don't know what that, maybe it'll take some time, because with Giannis, I thought it was kind of immediate, especially in the post area. And then ever since then, he's been improving his mid-range. Maybe just dealing with the psychology of being in New York, like Thibodeau said. He refers to him as a champion. I think a lot of people would disagree with that. Even though he's not a champion by trophy, he can still refer to how it felt and like, why did he lose? Maybe he got nervous. How did it feel to shoot that finger roll? How does it feel when you lose in New York versus when you win in New York? Don't get too high, don't get too low. You're gonna see some crazy shit over here. They shitted on Jordan in New York. Don't think you're an exception. Like, there's a lot of things he could just tell. He can mentor a cat on that end. I'm really curious to hear what they're talking about though on the basketball court. I know Olajuwon's game translates. A lot of Ewing's jump shooting does, but that he was the black hole, man. You gave Ewing the ball, it was a wrap. He was passing the ball out, and he was very methodical. So I'd love to hear how just see here and break the game down, because sometimes you think based on their game they can't translate, but then he'll tell you like, bro, take 2 steps, spin, shoulder fake, make sure you fake the pass, shoulder pass, keep the ball up. And also, what are they talking to him about on defense? That, like, defensively, Karl Anthony Towns, that's where he needs the most help. He needs zero help on offense. If he can tell him, keep your hands up, why is your hand on Bam's chest while he's shooting a 15-footer? That made zero sense. What was that, Flea?
We forget Patrick Ewing was a guy that had to learn how to become offensively sound. He wasn't a guy that came in the league and was a great offensive player. This dude was a defensive monster at Georgetown. He was a defensive monster coming into the NBA, right? And so whatever he could provide Cat on a defensive end, again, I'm sure he's not going to be the shot blocker that Patrick was. Like, Patrick was extremely underrated on the defensive end. You got guys like David Robinson, who was Defensive Player of the Year, Olajuwon, who's probably one of the, if not the best defender of all time, right? So you got those guys in they prime right next to you. So you kind of forget that Patrick patrolled the paint for us. He was a rim protector for us. It's not talked about enough, in terms of what he did for us. But he could give all of that kind of knowledge to Cat in terms of how to be effective on the defensive end. Again, we're not going to transform this dude into a all-world defender, but he's a 7-footer. He's long. If you just put your hands up and just be active and know where you're at. OG text in the chat earlier, he might be the worst defender in the league. And the first thought that comes to mind is that's because he has no clue where the fuck he's at. I could look at him and realize he doesn't know where the rim is at, where the ball is at, where help should be at. Like, he has no clue. And that's just discipline and concentration. I think Patrick could provide that to him and help him know, hey, listen, my point being the other day, Cat, if you become just a decent defender, the New York Knicks would be a completely different ball club. Like, just decent, it would take us that much better. So I like him and Patrick connected for sure.
you got to remember when Patrick Ewing was with our Knicks. Remember he had to become one of the best offensive players as well. That's why he couldn't. That's why he couldn't be the super great defender that he could have been. Because remember, he had to be the offensive. He had to be everything. Cat don't have to be everything. You got Brunson, you got Bridges, you got OG now stepping up. Cat has to learn how to play defense. Cat don't even have to learn how to block shots. He just have to learn how to play defense. He's the worst defender in the league. Like literally, like it's time to take the gloves off. If we're going to be championship contention anytime, he has to be a way better defender. He has to learn how to slide his feet. He has to learn how to not commit silly fouls. Like I said, we ain't even asked you to block no shots. But like you said, Fabian, that foul was like, yo, bro, why? Out of 6 fouls you get, 4 of his is always why? Why, bro? Why? And then he stand there and looks. So for me, this is where, he may have to really holler at a Dennis Rodman, a Ben Wallace, a David Robinson, a Patrick Ewing, a Akeem Olajuwon. I don't know how it's going to work, but some of these guys, if you want to be great, see, for me, y'all got everything, but now, do you want to be great? Do you want to win a title? We all know he's a bad defender, but sometimes, you just sit and just really be like, he might be the worst defender in the league. But I hope he understands that this is what I hope Patrick Ewing tells him. Bro, you're playing in New York City. The expectation is for real. We need a championship. If you are not willing to be under this pressure, get up out of here, bro. Because I'm telling you now, we flames everybody. So I just hope he understands the pressure that he's putting himself under. And hopefully, he do the right things, take the right steps to deal with that pressure. But he has to get better defensively. It's no more fooling around with that. It's horrific.
I really wonder if he's gonna keep it real with him, and talk about, like, Oakley is very adamant about you and not being such a the leader like that. And would you rely on an Oakley like that? Like, yo, you need an Oakley in here because maybe you something like me and you're not really out. You're more of an introvert or whatever the case may be. Because Cat, that is toughness, AllBall. Like, it feels like he's lackadaisical and he's silly about that shit. The way he laughs, like, that shit is cool to be off the court and you want to show off your personality. But I think it takes a certain discipline to keep your hands up. Get them shits out the way. You have to talk to yourself like that. You kind of got to be very tough on yourself. That's what it feels like, because that's lazy shit to be doing. So you got the Oakleys of the world and people just telling you, like, if they get Charles Oakley and they be like, yo, y'all full of shit, man. He's gonna keep it real with them like PJ Tucker. And everybody got their own opinions about Oakley, but I could see him in this era. I don't know what anybody saw. He had a jumper, he could rebound. He's gonna go in there and try to get rebounds and stay in this era, stay on the court because he's tough. There's something to that. It's an ingredient that's been missing. We always refer to it, but I think to mentor him in that way is Patrick Ewing being 1,000% honest with him, real with him. Like, yo, I needed Oak. I needed them guys. So the Josh Harts be thankful for them. The PJ Tuckers be thankful for them. Because, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I couldn't get the team invigorated like that. I had to do with my play on the court. So I wonder if he needs that kind of talk, that realization. Because I think that's a very dark place for some people to go, to be that tough. I don't think that's an easy thing for most of us to be doing. That shit, who the hell wants to be a tough guy all day long? Man, lonely.
I think the tough guy thing is overrated. I think at times it's needed. But I think Charles Oakley's being tough and us wanting Cat to be tough is 2 totally different things. I'm not with the Oakley. I'm not with none of that. Because I think Oakley's tough thing, it can go a bit far, and it won't even be about basketball. So I don't agree with that. I think Cat should holler at a guy that I think is probably top 5 defenders ever. Go holler at Dwight Howard, bro. Dwight Howard's one of the greatest defenders we've ever seen. Bruh.
I hear what you're saying, but that's what Dwight has. You can't teach Cat. Like the instinct, the athletic ability, the timing, the everything that Dwight came with. that's extremely hard to translate to somebody who, you know, one, doesn't play above the rim, two, has zero instinct. Like, I hear what you're saying, OG. Because he's the, you know, closest to him in age. He probably could translate.
Right.
He shut Joker down in that Western Conference Finals back a couple years back, in that in the bubble. So for sure. But what Cat has, Pat might be the perfect dude to do this, to really show him what just playing big. I think Michael James just said something. I wanted to highlight what Michael James said. Playing big. That's all I really want you to do. I can't expect you to be Dwight Howard or Patrick for that matter.
Dwight Howard is the exact person I don't want talking to Karl Anthony Towns, because Dwight Howard did not take the game seriously to me. A lot of that shit came off natural raw ability. He was jumping out, smacking the ball into the stands, 50 feet, 50 rows up. That's my problem with Karl Anthony Towns. Sometimes he's too silly, and Dwight Howard was the epitome of that shit, being too silly. Like when Derrick Rose came up in the All-Star game, was looking at LeBron and Dwight like, y'all doing, man?
But Dwight being silly has nothing to do with him just trying to help him learn how to slide his feet. I think Cat is in the same position like Minnesota. You had Ant-Man, now you have Jalen Brunson. Now he's looking for that Rudy Gobert, like I said, to cover his the things that he can't do great. All right, if he's not a great leader and can't lead, he had Ant-Man there. You got Brunson there. You're not a great defender. He had Rudy Gobert there. We have a Rudy Gobert. We have a Mitchell Robinson. I'm just saying somebody's going to have to flick a switch. Some move is going to have to be made if we think we're going to get to the next level. Cat is going to be Cat. If Cat never changes, we know what we signed up for. Cat never was a great defender. So if he's not going to now or next year, we got to figure out a way to hide that. We haven't got to hide that. Like I said, Minnesota, I know we don't have the reads and the things of that nature, but I'm just saying still, we got to figure something out.
AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.